Good morning, good evening, good night to everybody all around the world here. Welcome to a Game 3 match here in the ALTTPR League Season 2 playoffs between the Last Locationers and Team Awesome. On one side, we have Goomba running for the Last Locationers. On the other side, for Team Awesome, we're going to have Ramond trying to put away this best of 5 matchup here. This is going to be a heck of a fun race here. My name is Dazed Cloud today. Our tracker today is going to be star 1468 there. So big shout outs to our trackers as always for helping us out. We thank you for joining us all tonight here on SpeedGaming, and we're looking at an all dungeons key sanity match. This is going to be a whole lot of fun here, and we are just gonna get this going in just about any second now, and hope you guys are ready, because these are two of the top teams available left in this tournament. The Last Locationers have had a bit more of a rockier road to get to this point than Team Awesome. Team Awesome has yet to drop a single match in this tournament here. They completely bulldozed the Skullwoods section here, and it looks like we are off, and we are both starting at Link's house with a blue boomerang. Funnily enough, both runners deciding that they're going to start with the Uncle start today, see what they can dig out from Uncle immediately, maybe get a tree pull, get something a little bit more there. Unfortunately, that tree pull is just going to be a couple of arrows, nothing that is too helpful for either of these runners. Now, Goomba showing off a little bit of good knowledge right there, taking the extra second, checking that stun prize, and immediately getting rewarded with a bomb. So he's going to have 2 bombs immediately to start with a quake on Uncle, and Ramond as well, getting to see that stun prize, getting himself his bombs. That's going to make going through Kakariko that much easier. One less thing that either of these guys will have to start farming. And that's our first big key of the day. That is our big key to Ice Palace, which is, to be honest, one of those things that you'd always want to find early, and you hate finding it, especially you hate finding it after you've gone to Ice Palace. So both of those guys are going to breathe a bit of sigh of relief. Now, both runners making their way up into the Lost Woods here, going to be able to check what's over in the mushroom spot and what is in the Lost Woods drop-down area there. Ramond getting the first one to see that it's just a piece of heart. Neither runner taking any time at all to go ahead and pick that up. They know exactly the caliber of the player that they are facing here, and Goomba is the first to drop down and find the flute, which is a fantastic early find. That will get us moving around this light world of Hyrule as quickly as you possibly can here. Only better thing that we could do at this point is if we could also pair that with the boots, because quick, fast travel is one of the best things that you can get in this early time here. All right, and it's time to start raiding all of the goodies that are sitting here in Kakariko. Goomba's going to drop a bomb here in Blind's hut, blow open the wall, and be the first one to see a couple of our items here, starting off with a key to pod and our mirror. So that's a nice early find. And some blue mail as well here. So it's going to be a little bit harder to death warp, but a little harder to die early. So this is a nice early start there. Only a piece of heart in the back there, so nothing too crazy back there, but that mirror plus that flute is already giving us access to Tower of Hera. But this being all dungeons key sanity, we can't really do anything besides check the first 2 items in there yet. But that is one more place that if we could, we might be looking to find our moon pearl or something like that. Into the well we are, and so far nothing particularly too interesting. A whole bunch of just kind of quality of life items. That fairy in a bottle is going to be nice because it'll allow us to check Sick Kid immediately and just kind of get on with it, not have to come back for that later. Alright, and Goomba has played us the song to wake our good old duck friend, and we are now able to zoom around this world just that much better. Gonna get a couple of quick last couple of checks here in Kakariko, get our chicken hut checks and our little Sick Kid and back of tavern checks here. Just 20 rupees to start. Ramond's going to go ahead and he's going to give us our Sick Kid check on the other side first. Also for 20 rupees. Going to be a pretty common theme here after a point. You're going to see a lot of those big 20s. All right, not a whole lot there. Now Raymond's going to take a little bit of extra time here. He's going to go swing over because he is now out of bombs. He's going to go ahead, pick up his quick 10 bombs here. Goomba's going to do the same because there's nothing worse than, at the moment, this is really your only weapon that you have access to. You're not going to go very far unless you can kill some things, and especially likely that mini Moldorm cave is probably next on these runners' mind, and you're going to need a couple of bombs to hopefully be able to kill them nice and easily. Oh, and there is our Moon Pearl sitting on the library ledge right now, so that means we're going to find boots here sooner than later. All right, that is a quick flute for Goomba, and we're down into the dam, into the southern part of Hyrule. Using that mirror there to just immediately erase one of the blocks and get himself, make this a one-stop trip into this. And Ramond going to go ahead and YOLO the race game over here. Sees that it's 20 rupees, is going to take the time to go ahead and pick that up here. And I'm now joined in the booth today by my co-commentator here, Nilson Alex92. How you doing there, bud?
I'm doing good. I just had some technical difficulties here, so I am here. How are you today?
Doing great, doing great. We've seen early flute, early mirror. Not really any keys to speak of here. Both runners are kind of in the same spot. It's we're looking at a great race coming up here for sure.
Oh, that's nice. Super nice. So no keys at all.
Well, we got a big key to Ice Palace here. We got whatever this small key was. I had missed it over on Raymond's side there. That is a key to Castle Tower. And there's a pod key here on Goomba's side in there, in the mini Moldorm cave, along with that big key to Tower of Hera.
Nice. It's starting to open up here with some keys.
Yeah, now if we can just get a weapon, we can get our first dungeon completed here. Now, this is an all dungeons seed here, all dungeons key sanity. So that Castle Tower small key is a very nice find. Both of these runners are going to be hoping to find those two earlier than later. The later that you find that second one, the worse of a time you're going to have.
Yeah, hopefully you can find that really early so we don't need to start to get worried about it.
All right, Goomba taking a little bit of extra time and running over to the Ice Rot Cave here real fast, and just grabbing himself 20 rupees, pulling out that flute, and he's off to somewhere else.
It looks like we're going up to the mountain here with Goomba. There's a few checks we can do here. I don't think we will go up to Tower Fair at this point.
Raymond having to be a little bit careful there. On being on blue mail down to a single heart there, those crabs can still kill from a single heart on blue mail. So Goomba, on the other hand, is having fun in the dark here. And judging by the sound here, he's picked up the old man and he's about to walk out the front door there.
Did that very well. It's not easy to do it without a weapon. Get some bombs as a reward here from the old man.
It looks like he is just going to save the old man and immediately flew away. It looks like he's going to desert, while Ramond on the other side over there is heading up towards Sasharala and the Eastern Palace area.
Green pennant is Tower Fair, actually.
Well, now that's something interesting right there. Now, the back of Sasharala's closet was a complete waste of time. There are a couple of bombs and 10 arrows. Goomba's going to give us there just a piece of heart, so we're still trying to find some sort of weaponry.
It's not looking good on that side, that's for sure. So the main question is, where will we find it? Will it be in Eastern Palace, or will it be up here on the mountain?
Yeah, or it could be just in the escape sequence as well. There's 3 items sitting there in the front of escape that nobody has done yet, and they're available to the runners. They might have to do a little bit of bomb escape, which is doable, but not super fun.
It's definitely not fun to do it, but these 2 runners will make it look pretty easy. That's for sure.
Well, I mean, both Goomba and Ramond just said, "Oh, I don't have a sword, and I'm doing the dark rooms." Oh, I'm gonna make this look like it's something I've done 500 times before. Like, both of them have got this game down to a science.
Looks like Ramond wants to go and check the few checks we can do here inside the Spectacle Rock and up top on Spectacle Rock as well, and maybe we'll get a peek into Tower Fair as well.
Yeah, I kind of like this play on Ramond's side here. It's a little bit he's going to go ahead and kind of follow what the game is telling him so far. Like I said, that mirror plus that flute kind of made you think you wanted to go up here, and that, sure enough, there's a map, not a map, but a lamp sitting on Spectacle Rock and a big key inside. So we got some things to do.
Definitely a good thing from Ramond here to go and check this out.
Well, I mean, now it's still early. We don't exactly know what our Dark World access is going to be, but now we have a lamp, plus we have a castle tower key.
And there's a bow inside Eastern Palace as well.
Now, are you thinking that big key that we just saw inside of Spectacle Rock there might be the Eastern Palace big key?
I mean, it would be pretty funny. There's a book as well in Tower Fair, but it would be pretty funny if there was actually if that is the Eastern Palace big key. But I don't think Goomba would be that entertained by it.
Yeah, it just kind of feels like this might be one of those things that the game likes to do, especially an early Key Sanity game. There can be a little bit on the linear side. Gonna have to see exactly what line this game wants us to follow.
Ramond is going to check the other 2 checks here coming up. Can't beat Moldorm, but I might find. I mean, if you're super lucky here, you pick up a hammer or a sword at least, or Arcane of Samaria.
Arcane of Samaria is not bad. It's not helpful, but it's not a bad thing.
We can't really kill Moldorm with Arcane of Samaria, unfortunately, but it's it's a good item to have because you will not have to look for it later. Ooh, there's your cape as well.
Well. All right, so we've got a cape. We've got ourselves a mirror. No, we've got ourselves a cape. We've got ourselves a a lamp and a castle tower small key. I think this game is starting to suggest something there.
What did the tablet say?
Well, there is a map to something of another on there. I want to say that is a map to Hyrule Castle, but I'm not 100% sure there. Now, for Goomba, this check is technically out of logic, but for everyone else, we kind of know that this check is actually 100% in logic here. Now, he's got to be a little careful, though. Deciding to play it safe here and just go ahead and kill all the enemies here, because those anti-fairies are going to take off a full heart no matter what.
And we do have a compass for Ice Palace.
Right. And it turns out that big key that sitting inside Spectacle Rock was actually the big key to Desert Palace. So we're going to take just a second here to on Ramon's side to hop over into Desert.
This is a pretty funny way to for our runners to just check out all the places here, because we just got the book as well from Hera, and now we got the big key for Desert Palace.
Now, see, for Goomba there, he's going to have kind of a nice thing there, since he picked up that bow. That's going to be something that, depending on how exactly this shakes off over on Ramon's side there, he could put that off for a little bit. Chances are he gets to that pretty soon, because the game seems to be fairly stingy in its item placement so far. But there's a chance that bow is going to be a pretty good find over for Goomba.
And there's boots inside Desert Palace.
Now that's something you missed there, Alex. Yeah, one thing that we did see here not that long ago is sitting there on the library ledge. That's where we found our moon pearl for the day.
Well, that is a very, very entertaining spot to have moon pearl on, and you don't see that very often.
And to answer a quick question there, yes, I do believe Ramond did take a second there to check the torch in Desert Palace. I believe he did. I don't think it was anything of note, so he's probably more than happy to kind of just get on with it and pick up the next couple of items that he needs.
The boots open up at Bunkrocks and getting that moon pearl, but not much than that so far, at least.
And it's kind of funny, neither of the runners have checked the lumberjack area right now, which is something that all of these items might be suggesting is important.
So the boots just unlocking some more bombs here in Bunkrocks. Looks like we're going to get that lumberjack check now from Ramon's side.
That is a key.
yeah, that was a small key, but I wonder where.
Yeah, that's the problem with that. That's a key. Key to what? Key to something. We're not 100% sure here. Goomba taking an extra second there to be just a little careful with his 1.5 hearts there to kill those couple of Moldorms there.
And Ramond picking up his moon pearl here, so it's going to be interesting to see where Ramond decides to go here.
Yeah, he's got Eastern Palace and he's got the Front of Escape left to him right now. So it looks like we're going to go Eastern Palace first. And on Goomba's side, he's headed down to...
He's going to go and check out... Yeah, he's going to go and check out the castle and probably the castle tower as well.
Yeah, I mean, this is pretty much got to be a escape play right here. And you're going to have to assume that there's going to be a sword in there somewhere. Because if there's not a sword, then not a whole lot of this makes sense.
I mean, we might find some big keys here, or a glove to get through deserts, get one more item, or something stupid like that, maybe.
Yeah, that'd be a fun desert clear. Hey, congratulations, guys! How's your NMG going today? You want to try a bomb and arrow land mollusk fight because that's what you're gonna do. I mean, that'd be a fitting thing for the playoffs if we're being honest here.
Yeah, let's show off all the strats you learn, and there's our glove in the castle.
Well, when you call them there. Hey, well done.
Just felt like a natural pick up there, so... For Goomba, this is very good, actually. If Goomba have not been to the Desert's Palace yet, so when he heads over there, he can just full clear it. Except that he doesn't have the small keys.
Yeah, he really thought, though. There was a moment there where I think he was like, oh, I'm going to go check these 2 chests really fast. And then he realized, wait a minute, I only have 1 of the small keys. Let me go get these other 3 first.
There's a small key to Desert Palace. We can't full clear the whole dungeon here.
Well, now that is just a great thing for Goomba there, because since Ramond has already gone over to the Desert Palace area, he's having to double dip it is just going to be something that'll bleed just a little bit of time. So what else are we going to find back here? How about a sword?
Well, you did call a sword here, Dazed, so congratulations.
We're equal at this point right now, right? I mean, to be honest, we're getting a good loadout of stuff here kind of early. Probably going to have to go into... There's a chance we're going to be going into that other side of... Desert Palace to pull out a small key or something to Castle Tower, but we don't really know for sure.
At this point, we might just pick up a hammer, since we're not that far away from Dark World access at this point.
This is a smart play over on Goomba's side, taking that extra time here and going up. And since we're playing Key Sanity, these first 2 checks here in Aga Tower are 100% in logic.
Getting 300 rupees. We do have Sora open as well, with those almost. We don't have all the rupees for it, but Sora's in logic now with that glove.
Yeah, if we just really want to get mean, we can put something up on Zora here as well.
Hey, Bugnet.
Well, now we can beat Aga if we want to do it a fancy way.
Well, with that sword as well, we can clear Tower of Hera as well, so we have some options.
Yeah, it's all options of what do you feel like double dipping for some of these runners here. For Ramond there, that's actually worse because he's going to have to double dip both Tower of Hera and Desert. Well, Goomba can just single dip Desert.
Okay, we do have all the small keys for Castle Tower that we actually need.
I mean, honestly, for both runners, they're probably there's a good chance that that's just almost a sigh of relief, because they don't have to worry about finding those castle tower keys at any point here. They can just kind of go ahead and be like, all right, cool, that's done. Because this is all dungeons, they're going to have to do it regardless.
Oh yeah, definitely. Ramond is hitting the Desert Palace again. Now it's just picking up that small key.
Now, actually, something that is kind of interesting that I did see someone in chat kind of bringing it up here. That sword would kind of technically be out of logic right now.
Yeah, it would be, actually. We don't have a small key to Hyrule Castle.
We got a small key to Turtle Rock there out of the first chest on the right side of Desert here.
Ramond did not go to Dark Cross, apparently. I don't think so. Or did he?
No, doesn't look like it here. So he is unfortunately gloveless right now. So that's going to be a triple dip of Desert for him. Instead, he's deciding to go up here and probably finish off Moldorm, it looks like.
That is super unfortunate for Ramond here. Gives Goomba more time to get a little bit of advantage here. Oh, we do have a hook shot. Ramond never picked up the hook shot on the torch of Desert Palace when he got boots.
Oh no, yeah, so he must have just walked right by that as well. That's a horrible, horrible thing for him there.
That is super unfortunate for Ramond here, because that opens up all of East Death Mountain here for Goomba.
Yeah, this is one of those things where, like, Goomba, you would give him a lead right now, but it is still so incredibly early on this that it could really, all sorts of things can still happen here. We can still see all sorts of different shenanigans, but yeah, Goomba's early routing is really, really benefiting him right now more than anything.
The main question is, when will Ramond go back to Castle or Desert Palace at this point? He needs to hit up both, honestly, one before the other.
Yeah, we're gonna have to see exactly what his next decision is there. Like, at some point he's gonna have to make his way to Dark Cross, and at some point he'll have to make his way back to Desert for a third time. He's not going to be able to get to the second castle tower key until he gets to the gloves in Dark Cross. He's kind of smartly using that cape there to avoid an enraged Moldorm and get an easy quick kill over, get that 6th hit on his tail there. Pulls out the Cane of Brian here. Now Goomba's going to have a nice fight here.
Getting to practice his NMG strats while doing some rando.
Yes, just regular old arrows on Lanmo is not a whole lot of fun, and he's got to be kind of careful here. He's down to a single heart, and these Lanmos, they can do a lot of damage if you're not careful.
You do have a fairy in a bottle, so if he would take a death here, it would be that brutal.
Very true. I mean, he probably wouldn't be happy about using that fairy in the bottle at the time. Not going to need to, though, as he takes him down there and gets crystal number 1 there.
Nice fight there, and Ramond picking up a heart container from the green pendant.
It looks like Ramond is over there, making his way over to... finally going to go to the Dark Cross and grab his glove, which will kind of open up the rest of the game to him here. I think the big thing for him, though, is missing that hook shot on Desert Torch. That's going to be a that one's gonna hurt for a little while, I think.
It's going to make Ramon feel a bit bad. Luckily enough, the glove only unlocked the castle tower small key here, so I mean, it could be bad in that way that Ramon's, when he goes to the back, that he goes to Aga, but it looks like he's going through the way to Desert Palace again.
Well, let's find out there. He's going to flute back to 3 here to start, so where exactly are we headed there?
I think this is back of escape.
Kind of interesting that he didn't just save and quit and start at Sanctuary there. I don't know which one is faster there.
I honestly think it doesn't really matter in what way you're doing it. Hard to tell, really. Goomba is just going to do Aga at this point.
It makes sense here. It's a pretty smart, easy, simple play to make here. You've got to do it anyway, and you might as well do it now. And it gives you a second there to kind of decide exactly what he wants to do after this.
Goomba got a lot of options later on, and Ramon is just going to do the same thing. Really good choice for Ramon, even though he's lacking that hook shot. It doesn't really hurt him that much right now, since we haven't been able to see what's up there, but Ramon definitely needs to go back to Desert Palace soon.
And it's time to play our favorite game of exactly what key is on that lumberjack right now. Is it just a simple one, or do we have something interesting like a Swamp Palace small key?
Actually, I was just about to go and say that. It's going to be a Swamp Palace small key. So it feels like that's a good spot for a Swamp Palace small key.
Yeah, it definitely does. I was actually thinking if this game wants to be kind of nasty to our runners, they'd throw something like the Tower of Hera small key there.
I mean, if that's a Tower of Hera small key and Goomba checks it out, he haven't cleared out the whole dungeon, it would be pretty bad for Ramon, I think. If there is something in the basement.
I mean, that's true. If something like that ends up as a Tower of Hera small, and say I don't know, something like the Fire Rod ends up there, I mean, at that point, Ramon could be sitting there for a long time trying to figure that one out.
But let's play a different game, Aghanim Blue Balls. How many do you think?
Let's go with a nice 3 here. I feel like that's probably a pretty decent number. What do you got?
2, maybe. It feels like this seat is very weird for a runner, so gotta play it nice sometime.
Oh, there's one. Goomba serenading us there with his sword swipes there. Do appreciate the attention to detail on his side. When you've done Aga as many times as these runners have done Aga there, you gotta find some way of entertaining yourself there as we get blue ball number 2.
Pretty decent.
All right, well there you go. That is two blue balls there for our Aga fight today, and now Goomba's got a couple of choices here. So as you find a small key there on Desert, where is he going to head next?
The perfect option is if that is okay. That was for Turtle Rock, but if that was a pod small key, that would be a pretty nice find because that would have been 3 small keys to pod.
Now, if you want to go to pod right now, you're basically guaranteeing yourself, you're going to have the ability to clear quite a few of the chests in there. Now, for chests that are actually in logic, that's a completely different story. I think chests that are in logic with 2 small keys is only, I want to say, there's only 3 of them. I want to say out of the 14.
I don't really understand key logic in pod, so I'm not the one to, pod is just weird when it comes to keys.
Oh, that's fair. That's a fair point there for sure.
But there's a small key here, and it is for Meyer.
All right, Misery Meyer, small key, and it looks like Goomba's going to give us a little bit of Ancilla fake flippering over here on this side there, as he unfortunately doesn't get it the first time. I'm going to try it again here in just a second.
I managed to get it. Let's see what's in here. We have 20 rupees and a heart container.
All right, there's a small key sitting there on the waterfall ledge. He's going to have to see if we'll do the Ancilla fake flipper again there to get down to get that one. It's a much more of a difficult fake flipper to pull off there for sure.
It does look like he's trying to go for it, and he managed to get it as well.
Oh, well done on Goomba's side there. Going to basically save himself having to find the flippers here. He'll be rewarded on his side with just a key to Skull Woods. So, wouldn't call it useful, but at the same time, you're not going to say no to a key to Skull Woods. It does make routing the dungeon a little bit more efficient.
And here comes the big moment of truth here from Goomba's side. Is there something up here on the mountain that Ramond needs super earlier? Because then Ramond needs to go back to Desert Palace.
I mean, I almost have to believe there's got to be something interesting up here, or else the seed is just going to be teasing our runners relentlessly.
And there's just too many stuff up here to be found.
Right. Exactly. Like, now, what exactly it is, now that's yet to be seen, but it's got to be at least something.
20 rupees and 300 rupees.
Oh, money. Okay, so it's money is what we're missing at this point. So let's go for room number 2 here.
Starting off with the flippers, Master Sword, Ether, a map to Hyrule Castle, of course, and 20 rupees.
Alright, well that puts that Skull Woods key back into logic at least, but now, Ramond over there is trying all sorts of different ways there to try to get that fake flipper to work for him. Wasn't able to get it there. Hopefully he'll kind of just forget about that small key to small key to Skull Woods and not have that sitting in the back of his mind for the rest of the time.
But where is Ramond going now?
This looks like it's a pod play.
It could be a good play, depending on what Ramond finds in here. It could also just be, unfortunately, a waste of keys, maybe. But there's our Swamp Palace small keys. We can actually dip full clear dungeon. Except that we don't have the hammer.
Ramond's going to have to kill a few more enemies there to be able to get the money he needs to get to Kiki. He is right now 13 rupees short.
He could go into Eastern Palace and get some rupees from the pots, but I don't think that's enough.
So where is he headed now instead? Is he gonna go farm the money over here? It does look like he's gonna do that. Now, if he just went a little bit further the other direction, he could really make himself have a much better time here, as this red guard will just not leave him alone. Unfortunately, he's not going to make it all the way over to Desert Palace quite yet and pick up his hook shot, which would really help him out.
I think for Ramond, he's pretty much out of options here. It's Pod or it's back to Desert Palace, and it looks like he doesn't want to go back to Desert Palace.
I mean, he's already been in Desert Palace twice. I can completely understand his not wanting to go there. I mean, it makes complete sense to not want to go there. Unfortunately, that's kind of what he needs to do. And Goomba having a much easier time with his Moldorm with that Master Sword. Alright, that's going to be dungeon number 2 completed. Well, or technically dungeon number 3 completed on Goomba's side there, as he gets his green pendant for the Tower of Hera, from the Tower of Hera there.
While Ramond is inside Pod here, don't see the first chest, so if we're lucky, we might get another small key, or we maybe get our early hammer.
We could find all sorts of things that would make this very interesting. I think the best case scenario for Ramond right now is if he finds the mitts in here. So if he finds the mitts, that opens up the mire area to him. At that point, he's a mirror away from getting his hook shot. That's the best possible situation for him. But man, whether or not that's going to happen is asking quite a bit. Well, he's going to get a big key to Thieves Town, so that's a good find for sure.
And that's very good for Ramond.
Especially because it looks like Goomba is going to be making his way up and crossing over the river here at the north side of Dark World. So he's not going to have that big key to Thieves Town on his first entrance in, it looks like.
Could be a good play and could be a bad thing. I think it's pretty good. Since this key sanity all dungeons, skipping out that big chest of Thieves Town would be pretty bad, maybe, if there's something we need.
Well, King's Tomb is just going to have our second bottle of the day there, just with a B in it.
There's a mushroom in Pod.
So I gotta ask, what's your opinion on fake powdering? Is that something that you typically try to do in your seeds, or is it something that you don't like doing in your seeds?
That is a good question. I don't really go for it that often, but if it's Key Sandy, I would probably do it, because I think it might be more valuable in Key Sanity.
Yeah, I would agree. I would agree completely there. Yeah, when it comes to Key Sanity, I'm usually going to want to try to fake powder, but in any other mode, I typically do not care, even in the slightest.
There's silver arrows in Bod.
Well, that is quite nice.
Oh, there's a small key to Thieves Town as well.
Well, that is interesting. That is interesting for sure. For anybody who is just joining us here, we are about 45 minutes in this pivotal game 3 here. Team Awesome right now has a 2-0 lead on the last locationers right now, as we see a key sitting there on the bumper ledge. So Goomba is fighting for his team's life right now and doing pretty well with it so far. Now, with all that, we are looking at an all dungeons Key Sanity race between these two teams here. As quickly we find that it's just a key to Skull Woods sitting there on the lumberjack tree there. Thank you for joining us all tonight. My name is Days Cloud. I'm joined in the booth by Nielsen Alex there, and our tracker tonight is star 14681 there in chat there. If you can give her some love, definitely a big part of this.
Definitely making us look smarter because Star is keeping track on all the stuff we find here. Okay, so this gotta be a Desert Palace for Ramond. After Mushroom, of course.
And that is our third key to Turtle Rock, which is kind of the pivotal key here for Turtle Rock, because at that point you're able to go ahead and complete the dungeon provided you steal one of the keys there.
And Ramond, turning into Mushroom, gets another small key to Pod.
All right, and Ramon on his side is finally making his way back to Desert Palace there, so he's going to be able to get his hook shot finally, and probably go ahead and complete this dungeon, get crystal number 3. There is the mitts sitting in behind that mummy chest in Skull Woods.
This is looking good for Goomba's side, the way he's routing the seed, but I think Ramond, when Ramond gets his stuff, so he can just go to the village of outcasts when he got the hook shot. It's definitely looking good for both. Goomba slightly ahead right now, but everything can happen in Key-Sandy.
Oh, 100%. I mean, Goomba has routed this extremely well, especially the early game where nothing was particularly obvious. Ramon just kind of made some decisions that unfortunately didn't really work for him as well as they could have. But Goomba has just been nailing this down really well, showing exactly why these guys have made it into so far into this league tournament. As there's was that the fire rod?
I couldn't tell if it was a fire rod or an ice rod, but I would assume it's an ice rod since he's leaving.
Right. Yeah, it does look that way. It's kind of hard. I am looking from behind a window at this, so you're gonna have to excuse my old eyes at this point.
There's a small key to Mystery Mire. We don't really need a lot of small keys for that dungeon, but I guess it makes it a little bit easier when you're routing the dungeon.
Yeah, definitely. One of the things that you want to keep an eye on, though, is that if you do end up with 3 Misery Mire small keys, that puts the 2 chests on the fire side, the fire-locked side of Misery Mire, into logic, and that's usually a decent indicator that there might be something there that you're interested in.
There's a big key to Eastern Palace in Thieves Town.
Well, that's a great thing for Goomba right there. That'll when he goes over to Pod, he'll be able to get his keys for the rest of Thieves Town, but more importantly, he'll be able to go ahead and complete Eastern Palace while he's over there.
This seed is definitely throwing our runners back and forth here in this seed to where should I go. A small key to Ice Palace.
Well, we got an Ice Palace small key plus the big key right now, so that's going to make getting through Ice Palace extremely quick and easy there, especially with that red cane. That'll allow us all sorts of things to pull off that fairly recently found icebreaker glitch. Will make that entire dungeon just go by in a flash. All right. Looks like Goomba is going to make his way over here and realize that he doesn't have the hammer, so there's not a whole lot he can do right there. Heads over, grabs the smiths, and then he realizes, okay, I got to do it in this order. And sure enough, he's going to go ahead and turn the guy in, pick up his purple chest on the way, likely.
Yeah, this will be the purple chest. I would be surprised if he doesn't turn in the purple chest, because he can just, since he has Master Sword and Book, he can also check the Bombus tablet at the same time.
Now, I don't remember Goomba doing the dig game, did he?
Actually, I don't think so, but there's a vanilla sword on the blacksmiths.
I mean, sure, that's a perfectly good thing to find right there. You're gonna really like that. But unfortunately, I think Goomba is gonna end up. I see what he's doing. He's gonna be fluting down to turn in the purple chest and then coming immediately back. This is some nice logic, a nice ordering over on Goomba's side for sure. I mean, that's one of the things that can really kind of determine races of this magnitude is really, it is the sequence that you do things in, because both of these guys, their execution is top notch. After a point, it comes down to just, how much of this did you do in a more efficient manner?
It looks like Goomba has a little bit of advantage here with the way he's been routing the seed, and definitely looking good for Goomba, but Ramond is definitely on his track.
Ramond is not far behind him by any means. Yeah, he's going to be pretty much going to go right through Skull Woods here, probably get his ice rod out of there. Goomba's having to go through quite a few digs here to figure out exactly what item is hiding under the dirt here. That is just a piece of heart, so he's gone as quickly as he can.
It'll be interesting to see if Goomba goes into... he has the opportunity to just go into Swamp Palace, since he has a small key. He can check two chests in Swamp, if he decides to do it or not. Oh, there's our hammers. We can full clear Swamp Palace now.
That is an interesting find there on Goomba's side. Now, we can't quite full clear Swamp Palace. You can get 9 out of the 10 chests there because we don't have the big key. But there's a good chance you're not going to need that. You're not going to need that big key. I say now, pretty much jinxing it, but we'll have to see.
I mean, the Swamp Palace big key is just going to be inside. I mean, I'm calling it.
All right, I'm going to hold you to that one because you've had 2 right already, and if you get a third one right, I'm going to start asking you for lottery numbers, I think.
Well, don't ask me for lottery numbers because I am not lucky on the lottery, so.
And that's why we play rando instead of, something for money. Anyway, moving back on, Goomba's running his way down to Hype Cave.
There's a small key to Palace of Darkness. Small key to Ganon's Tower, a 3rd bottle, and a piece of art.
Well, I mean, that pod key's pretty good. But, man, other than that, it's nothing too exciting there.
It's good for Goomba. He will have 3 small keys going into pod when he's doing Eastern Palace later on, as it looks like, for the moment at least. He will dip into Swamp Palace, that's for sure, but it looks like Goomba needs to go and get his keys for Thieves Town pretty soon as well.
Yeah, now, one of the things I'm kind of wondering is if, even though Ramond has everything that he needs to complete, at least get in and defeat Blind, he doesn't have the hammer yet. I wonder if he's going to put that off in order to go and because his hammer is just right around the corner. If he does that, he might come immediately back and finish off Thieves Town.
It's going to be interesting to see what he decides to do here. Goomba found a third Mystery Mire small key on the boundless tablet.
Ooh, like I said, that can occasionally kind of signpost that there is something hiding over in that fire-locked side of Misery Mire.
We do have access to Mire. We can't clear the dungeon. I mean, it depends on if we need bombos or not, but we can't clear the dungeon because we don't have the big key yet. But
Yeah.
definitely maybe worth dipping in one time to see if there's something inside.
I mean, this is always the trick with Key Sanity, is after a point, there are dungeons that you are going to be... oh my god.
So,
Please, come on. What are the numbers? Go on.
we will take that later, Dazed.
All right, fair enough. Fair enough. I'll be in your DMs here pretty soon. Anyway, what was I saying? That completely caught me off guard.
Same here.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That sounds like a plan. All right, well done there. That's what I'll do next time I'm back home. All right, so Ramond is unfortunately he wasn't able to go down and get his hammer quite yet. Does pick up his master sword from the smiths. Now, choosing to take that purple chest with him here. Now, if he just walks it down, this is actually going to be really good for him. Well, sure enough, that's what he looks to be doing. And it looks like Goomba is going to go ahead and he's going to get left side swamped on immediately. Setting up the fancy diver down right here.
He's even doing it with the bomb strat as well. So here's a thing that's pretty... I wouldn't say it's bad for Ramond, but Ramond haven't been up to the mountain yet. But it kind of works out at the same time for Ramond because he can do hookshot cave and sort of bunny cave and all that in one go. But he's lacking the flippers. So whatever Goomba finds in here is swamp. It will take a while for Ramond to get it.
Yeah, a big thing here is if we find nothing on left side swamp. If we find nothing on left side swamp, we could this could very easily be a time for Ramond to really make up some time and kind of maybe claw back a little bit. That Goomba's routing has really helped him there.
Definitely going to be interesting to see where Ramond goes after this. I would assume that Ramond goes back to Thieves Town at this point. You can't full clear dungeon now with that hammer. Or maybe he wants to go to the mountain instead.
Yeah, well, we're going to have to take a look here real fast. Now, it looks like, unfortunately, Goomba might have had a small hiccup on his side here. We'll try to get him back as quickly as we possibly can. It looks like we just did, so unfortunately have no idea exactly what he pulled out of left side. Keep your eyes on his menu. Maybe we can take a look and see if there's something there that wasn't there before.
You're going to have to really use your Hawkeyes here. There's a map to Eastern Palace inside that big chest, so nothing important in that big chest. Going for another diver down here on the bottom chests here. Couldn't really see what's on Goomba's menu there. Oh, there's a fire rod.
Please stop calling things. It's making me very jealous.
That fire rod is pretty bad for Ramon's side. Goomba can do a lot with that fire rod at this point.
Yeah, I mean that's one of the big things for Goomba is that that opens up Ice Palace to him for sure. I don't really, other than that, Ice Palace and Mothula, you can get the 2 chests that are locked inside Turtle Rock as well. I mean, I don't necessarily. It's a great find, that's for sure.
It just depends on what like if Ice Palace got something as well. But it's could be good for Ramond still that he is holding it up. But there's Bumbo, so we definitely got everything for both Turtle Rock and Mr. Meyer to access.
Well, yeah, I mean, this is getting pretty crazy here, pretty fast with the amount of things that we're getting from these runners. I really, at this point right now, we're looking for keys, and we also want to know exactly what are our pendants here. So far, we know of one pendant. We have no idea what the other pendants are.
Yeah, I'm super interested to see what's inside, what Goomba found at the left side swamp.
I mean, according to his teammates and according to our tracker, it doesn't look like anything significant. It looks like it might have just been 2 junk items. But that being said, oh, yep. One of the viewers in chat there is pointing out something that Goomba has one thing that Ramond does not have, and that is a shield. And we're assuming he picked that up over on left side swamp.
I mean, a shield's always important, right?
Oh yeah, I mean it only does absolutely nothing for most of the time and actually provides lag instead. But pretty good so far though, you know?
That's a time save for Ramond in that case, if he skips left side swamp whenever he decides to go there.
I kind of feel like there's a pretty good chance that he does that as well, because I mean, in his head, I imagine with that triple dip of Desert Palace, there's a good chance I think that he goes, you know what, I think Goomba's probably ahead of me. I need to get going.
There's small key to Ganon's Tower in Ice Palace.
All right, so that's key number 2 for Ganon's Tower there. If we start seeing a lot of those keys, you might start to wonder if one of our big keys is kind of hidden in GT. That's always something that could drag this game out much longer than it needs to be.
That's the fun part with key sanity, all dungeons as well, that we could have progression for, well, like a big key in this case, for one of our pendant dungeons inside Ganon's Tower.
Yeah, we're gonna have to see. That's always one of the questions there is how much of Ganon's Tower do we need to clear? Because key sanity, you're hoping to not have to clear any of it and just go immediately to the top. Unfortunately, on Ramond's side there, that is just a piece of heart in the big chest of Thieves Town. So nothing there that's gonna really help him pull away from Goomba.
It looks like right now this dungeon has been pretty empty, except that small key and big key we found super early on in the dungeon.
Yeah, it does look that way. I mean, the one thing with Thieves Town is pretty much doesn't matter if you're in go mode or not, you're mostly going to be full clearing it anyway. So it's not really any sort of advantage if Ramond finds anything in here, but that big chest could have been something if somehow Goomba missed the small key to Thieves Town.
And the Thieves Town is just a complete bust in that case. The backside doesn't have anything, but we do have a crystal in Thieves Town.
Yep, and that's going to be dungeon number 4 for Ramond on his side there. Goomba is about to go for dungeon number 5 over here. He picks up a small key from the shadow room, and then he's going to have to make his way around since he decided not to go back and flick the switch when he did before he did the icebreaker. He has to be using the big key plus the small key to access the boss here. Now, Hammer Peg's coming up empty on Ramon's side as well there. That's just the single arrow staring at him. And Goomba choosing to use bombos there to break the shell, not really having a choice there, saying his magic is a little bit lower. Gotta be a little careful though. His health is decently low. I believe he still has that fairy.
Yeah, he does have that fairy still. And getting Myra shot for the first time, but nothing there. Small key to Ice Palace in Ice Palace, and it's a crystal as well.
So I do believe that makes Ice Palace there. Samaria locked for all that matters.
Ooh, there's a big key in the checkerboard cave. And it is for Turtle Rock.
Oh, well, that's not something Goomba's likely to miss by any means there. That's a pretty... That's just a location that he's likely to check here pretty quickly there after he does Hobo.
Oh yeah, most definitely. You don't really skip out on checkerboard cave because you still need to go to Myra area, so...
Now, kind of the problem for Ramond here is it doesn't really matter for him because he's going to end up having to do at least two climbs of that mountain there, since the flippers are up there, and it turns out the fire rod being in the swamp, it's going to make it, no matter what, he won't be able to just knock out, Turtle Rock immediately while he's up there.
But look what Ramond got. He got access to Pyramid Fairy.
That is true there. So I suppose one of these other dungeons there was one of our red crystals there. It being Key Sanity, it can be kind of hard to exactly find what the other crystal was there. I guess
T-Sound and Desert Palace must have been our red crystals.
Yeah, must have been. You're right. All right, well, let's see what we got. We've got 10 arrows.
Ugh, just junk.
Wow. Junk and an angry fairy. I mean, got to give Ramond this. I mean, he is prioritizing the crystals and pendants that can give him extra things, but
here's the play he needs to do. Here's the play that Ramond needs to do. He can he can just check everything up here. East Death Mountain and the east part of the Dark Death Mountain as well. He could also go for... I expect he might go for Spike Cave as well, maybe?
That's probably a decent chance. I mean, he's got all of the things that he needs to knock out this entire area. Up here, he's going to pick up everything for Swamp. I kind of wonder if that might not just be his next play. And Spike Cave is one of those locations that if you check it and your opponent doesn't, wow, Goomba killed Moth fast.
That was a very clean Mothula fight, that's sure.
But, like, if you check Spike Cave and it actually has something important, and your opponent doesn't, Spike Cave is one of those very easily forgettable locations there.
Yeah, it's very often. It comes down to the same thing with the normal rando seed. It's just one of those out-of-the-way positions, Spike Cave, sometimes, that if you're busy with everything else, and you've already done everything on the mountain except Spike Cave, it's just you will last located.
Yep, as I have done many times, it is my personal kryptonite. I will say right now, that's for sure.
So Ramon got Quake and Ether. Let's see if we can open up Turok with one of them.
And Goomba gives.
Pedestal is dead.
Yeah, that is 10 shots there on the boat on the pedestal today, and Quake for Turtle Rock. So we're just gonna open this up really quick.
Ramon might go in there. He can open up some chests here. Wouldn't be surprised if he does it or not.
That's a hard decision to make right there. You know that the only thing he's really missing as far as items is just the fire rod. As far as keys go, we still need the big key to Misery Mire, the big key to GT, and we still need the big key to Pod.
We got the big key to Ganon's Tower right here, and a small key to Turok as well.
Well, that's all 4 Turtle Rock keys, so that puts everything into Logic and Turtle Rock. The lava chest, everything.
And the Goomba is dipping into Misery Mire here. It doesn't have a big key, but I would say he might actually be able to pick it up.
I mean, you have been right many times before, so I won't be shocked if you turn out to be right again this time.
Please.
I mean...
And there's a small key in Hookshot Cave for Ganon's Towers. I think we have 3 small keys now.
Yeah, between the 2 runners, we have found 3 small keys to Ganon's Tower here. But now this is a moment. Well, okay, as I was about to say, this is a moment where if this Misery Mire play on Goomba side, if this turns out to be bait, he's going to give some time back to Ramon. But that being said, Ramon is also sitting here in Turtle Rock right now. This is kind of a Hail Mary play on his side as well. So, man, I don't know which one is going to turn out to be right.
I mean, if Ramon would find the big key for Mire here, that would be great for Ramon. Because when he goes to that area later on, he can full clear Mire in one go.
Yeah, to be honest, I'm a little surprised that Goomba's doing a big keyless Misery Mire versus a Turtle Rock dive. Now, I guess he doesn't know that the big key to Turtle Rock is literally sitting right next door.
Yeah, Ramon needs to be careful here. These chain chomps are very not nice. So, and there's another small key for Skull Woods into a rock.
Well, that's Mothula into Logic.
And Goomba needs to go and check out Pod here soon, but might be able to pull out another small key. There's 6 small keys for Pod.
There are 6 small keys. 6 small keys for Pod there, and technically Helmasaur and anything in the Dark Maze, the Harmless Hellway, and the Vanilla Big Key Chest there require 6 keys.
Talking about small keys, there's a small key to Pod in the lava chest here in Turtle Rock.
I mean, that does kind of make sense that at some point the game does require you to grab all of the small keys. Now, you don't need to. The game is supposed to require you to.
Goomba mirrors out. There's nothing in here that Goomba can get from this dungeon so far.
Now, Ramon is on his way to the back of Turtle Rock. He's going to go all the way to the back here. So if he can pull something off a laser bridge, I mean, great. But kind of at the same time, it's not going to help him too much because he's giving himself a guaranteed double dip of this. When Goomba comes up, he's going to knock out the entire span of Turtle Rock in one trip.
Yeah, Ramond needs something big that he finds before Goomba. It takes Goomba a while to find it, and at this point, I don't want to be like that, but it feels like it's going to be pretty hard to get that. Maybe he will find that big key somewhere before Goomba, for example.
I mean, honestly, I think this is really one of those times where Spike Cave is gotta be an option there for Ramond, because trying to get, that's really one of the last locations I can think of that can really stump a runner there, because it can get so isolated. So if you're rooting for Ramond, I would start kind of praying for Spike Cave, because Goomba has just been like a machine and just checked everything in such an efficient manner today.
Yeah, Goomba's routing has been spot on today. You can see, like, this is the Ramond haven't really done anything bad in that way except missing that hook shot, and I understand. Somehow I understand how we missed that one, because you got the boots in desert, it was on the torch, you didn't have the boots going in, so you didn't check the torch, so accidents can happen.
I mean, that's the thing. It is rando. Crazy stuff can happen at some point. I mean, who knows? Maybe we still don't know what our pendants are. So at some point, we could be looking for one of these keys into Ganon's Tower. Sorry, you were saying?
There's another small key here in Lace Bridge, 2 Palace of Darkness. So that's all 6 for small keys for Ramon's side.
Well, now we just got to find a big key at some point. And looks like Ramond has just ran out of time there, so he is gonna have to mirror out and head somewhere else. Where is he gonna be heading?
I think he's going to go to Spike Cave. He's going back up to the portal here at Turtle Rock. And if you're going up there again, just go to Spike Cave.
Is this Spike Cave or is this Spiral Cave? Because I don't believe he did Spiral Cave either.
Oh, yeah, right. So he will get this. Okay, so he will get his small key to Swamp Palace then.
Alright, well, Goomba's going to give us the full clear of Thieves Town here. Not Thieves Town, but sorry, the full clear of Turtle Rock, along with a Trinex kill, assuming something doesn't go terribly wrong.
Yeah, and when Goomba will get 2 small keys here to Palace of Darkness, so he will go to Eastern area right after this. I'm pretty sure about that.
And Ramond is fluting away, and it looks like he is headed over to Eastern Palace. I guess is going to be his first play here.
I'm pretty sure Ramond skipped 1 or 2 chests in pot. He definitely skipped the big chest because we don't have the big key, but I think he has 2 more chests that he can open, or maybe just 1.
Interesting. It looks like Goomba didn't go to the right side of Turtle Rock. Just deciding to leave those 2 chests first. I kind of think I understand it, and to be honest, I think I like the play.
Yeah, I think I saw a game. I think it was last night. Active Poker against Jets, and they did the same thing. They skipped the right side of Turtle Rock as well, and did afterwards.
Exactly, yeah, because that's the thing. I mean, you can easily, once you complete it, you can go right back to there. And excuse me, what was that we just saw?
That was the big key to Palace of Darkness inside the big chest of Eastern Palace.
Okay, now that is a find for Ramond that might really turn into something decent there. Because yeah, Goomba will get to that location eventually. But he's not going to want to come to this area probably until you know, a little bit later, but he doesn't have much left, so I don't know. He at least is gonna. Yeah, that's a hard one to say. What is he gonna do first?
Well, I think Goomba will have 5 small keys to pod after this Turok. And he already had a big key for Eastern Palace. And the only thing he has left, unless we find a big key to Meyer, is clearing out both dungeons, to be honest.
Yeah, you know what? I guess you're right. So maybe it's not. It's probably not going to be as big a deal. I'm trying to find a way for Ramond to really kind of crawl back into this a little bit more. I mean, Goomba's just been so efficient with his routing that it has been really an amazing job on his side.
That was a pendant as well, Eastern Palace. So the main question is this going to be a crystal or a pendant in Hera? Turok is a crystal, so is Pod or Meyer a crystal or pendant? I guess it's down to Pod or Meyer.
Yeah, my gut says that Meyer's likely the pendant, and that big key is hiding somewhere in Ganon's tower. But I could easily be wrong.
I think you have a point there. Meyer, we don't have the big key for it, and yeah, I think this is going to be Meyer's big key inside GT at this point, unless we have skipped. Well, we do know that we haven't checked Spike Cape yet. But other than that, I think we have checked pretty much everything.
Yeah, nothing's jumping out at me.
Oh, we don't have the small key to Hera basement yet.
I mean, that's if the sea just wants to start getting cruel with our runners here. Probably not going to need that. Hopefully not going to need that, honestly, because I mean that's just mean.
Going to be interesting to see Goomba here. What Trinix got, and I would assume Goomba goes back in when he's done with to check the right side of Turok as well.
Now, one thing that could be kind of nice here for Ramond on his side is if we can, if he goes ahead and checks all of the available checks here in Pod and say gets the Misery Mire big key out of here, that's something that could really turn this around pretty quickly.
Looks like he's going to skip 2 chests right now for Pod. Goomba takes down Trinix, got the King of Samaria back out, so he will go back in. But what do we have on Trinix? A small key to Ganon's towers. We got 4 small keys now?
That is 4 small keys to Ganon's tower, and at that point there's a... I just really got a feeling that you're going to be finding that Misery Mire big key in GT right now. But Ramond will show us very quickly if that's likely to happen. Well, and Goomba's going to give us this right side of Turtle Rock, the roller room check here in just a second.
It could still be a big key to Mr. Maya right here for Goomba's side. That's the only thing we're looking for right now, a big key to Mr. Maya.
I mean, if Misery Mire big key is over here, I mean, at that point, it's pretty much all she wrote.
But there's no big key here, so we're still going to hunt that down. And Goomba's going to go to Spike Cave. I'm pretty sure that this is going to be a Spike Cave check from Goomba's side.
I mean, the routing has been great on his side for sure.
And Crystal Dungeon Palace of Darkness, Mystery Mire is confirmed to be our last pendant here.
All right, and he's going to go back in here and clear out all of the checks here in the Palace of Darkness. Now, this is where finding a Misery Mire key in one of these checks back here could really, really help out Ramond, and that could be one of his gateways back into this game, because when Goomba comes through here, I think there's I wouldn't be surprised if he's just going, you know what, 9 times out of 10 that Misery Mire big key is, if that's the pendant, that's going to be in GT.
And if we look at Ramond, he got a lot of dungeons to catch up on Goomba's side, so he definitely needs something here to pull out. He needs a Mire big key before Goomba.
Yeah, that's really what we're looking at here. On Goomba's side, he's only got 3 dungeons remaining left to complete, 4 when you include GT.
There's no Mire big key here in Palace of Darkness.
I mean, you get 4 GT keys plus the big key. It really seems like you're going to be looking for that big key somewhere in GT.
Oh yeah, definitely. So Ramond will go to Swamp Palace here. This is the play he needs to do. Skip left side. You will get your fire rod here, and I don't think it was something else that was important here.
Yeah, and so right now, if you're just joining us, first, welcome to Speed Gaming. This is a presentation of the ALTTPR League Season 2 playoffs here between the Last Locationers and Team Awesome. Goomba is racing for the Last Locationers here. They're down 2-0 to Team Awesome. Ramond is racing for them. If Goomba wins, we will be going on to a Game 4, probably scheduled for one of the next 2 days. And I am Dazed Cloud, joined in the booth tonight by Nielsen Alex, 92 there, and our tracker today is Star14681. Thank you for joining us tonight, and this is an all dungeons key sanity match. Goomba right now, we are likely to say, does have a bit of a lead on Ramond, but the race is still far from over.
There's still a big key to Mystery Mire to be found, and sure, we're running out of options here, but there's always that Ganon's Tower, and we do have that possibility of a small key to Tower of Pharaoh basement at this point.
Yeah, it looks like Ramond has done something.
Ramond is heading in Swamp Palace here. It'll be interesting to see what if he needs to skip left side swamp at this point. He definitely needs to skip left side.
I mean, in his mind, I think he's got to think that between everything else that's happened today, there's a pretty good chance that he needs to move along as quickly as he can here. And it does look like Ramond is having some technical difficulties here, so we're going to stick with Goomba for just a minute here, and he is back. Okay, so Goomba is set up for the quick kill on the Armos Knights there. Gets it instantly, and he's going to pick up his blue pendant right there. So he is down to his final 3 dungeons here.
He just got his big key to pot as well, and when he goes into pot, he will get his small key and big key to Thieves Town that he needs to clean out. There's a fire rod for Ramond. It looks like Ramond is going to see us skip out on that left side Swamp Palace.
Yeah, good smart play on his side for sure there. One thing for him is he's going to have some easier fights as far as bosses go than Goomba will, just because of he's got the butter sword. I mean, easier by like very, very little degrees here, but it's still a bit easier.
What Ramon needs to do as well to actually just get some time here is not even dipping into Mystery Mire at this point. Clean out your crystal dungeons and just go straight to GT at this point.
Yeah, that's his biggest play here, because Goomba is very soon to pick up his Thieves Town big key in just a minute here, and the moment he does, he's probably thinking in his head, all right, I'm going to knock off that, and then it's off to the mountain. Go ahead, get into GT, find the Mire big key, and get done with the game.
I guess we haven't fake powdered either, right? So we still have that possibility of the magic bat having a big key to Mire, but I don't think that's... I mean, I'm not going to say too much, but I don't think that's going to happen at this point.
I mean, it's unlikely, but I mean, you never know. So many crazy things happen in Rando that something like that wouldn't be the craziest thing that I've seen this week.
And Goomba just picked up that mushroom, so it's going to be interesting to see, like, if he turns it in, or if he decides to fake powder. We know that the mushroom contains a small key to pod, so I honestly don't think he will. He might not even do anything of it, like turn it in or fake powdering at this point.
Right, that's one of those odd strategic choices you have to make in All Dungeons Key Sanity, is especially when you're looking for, say, like the last Castle Tower key, or if you're looking for the last big key to whatever pendant dungeon you're looking for, is how much are you willing to bet that it's sitting in GT? I mean, GT, that's 27 chests. So if you just go by numbers, there's a very good chance what you're looking for is in there. But if it's not, man, you might have lost the game right there.
Goomba's just going to take care of King Helmasaur here, and then he will go back in and get his keys required for Thieves Town.
And down goes Helmasaur very quickly. Gets his compass to Swamp Palace there, and have to imagine he will be very quickly picking up that big key to Thieves Town, and then off he will go.
I do believe that the big key... Or wait...
Oh.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, that menu got me too.
I was a little bit worried that he would have flew away, but at the same time, why would you do that? You can't clear out your last two crystals. Well, your last crystal or slash pendant, so... There you go, there's the big key to Thieves Town.
All right, Goomba's gonna run down here into the back of the back basement here of Pod. He's gonna go ahead and he's gonna get silvers out of this chest right here, put him on an equal footing, at least equipment wise, with Ramond. Oh, Ramond showing why Butter Sword on Cold Stare is just one of the easiest, one of the funnest things you can do there. Is he takes him down instantly, picks up his key to Ice Palace, and is gonna mirror out and immediately get going there.
They only got two. He saw 2 crystals down on Goomba's side. Well, only one actually. Goomba still needs to take down Thieves Town.
Well, yeah, no, he's still down 2 because he's got Skullwoods and Turtle Rock yet to complete. So, but he's gonna have to run all the way through. I mean, it's closer than it looks, I'd say.
Yeah, and now Goomba is heading to Thieves Town. He will, like you said earlier, I mean, I don't think Goomba will actually pick up any. I think he will just go straight for the boss at this point. It feels like he's just go-moding at this point.
Well, I mean, in Thieves Town, you're going to go ahead and pick up the items. They're outside of the Thieves Town big chest. They are right next to the path you need to go. You're going to pick them up just in case it is. But, man, he's not going to miss anything if he does choose to skip it. But I can't imagine he skips it there and risks leaving the Misery Mire big key just sitting there somewhere.
I said this is way closer than I thought it would be at this point. It definitely looks like Ramond really stepped up the pace here, cleaning out both swamp, or just saving a lot of time, just not doing left-side swamp.
I mean, Ramon's still going to have to run all the way through Turtle Rock one more time. Now, he's not going to be necessarily checking anything. I kind of would be surprised if he checks right side of Turtle Rock at this point. But yeah, it's hard to say. I mean, this is getting to be still a pretty exciting match here an hour and 35 plus minutes into it.
At this point, you could just come down to routing in GT as well. Wherever you think you might find that big key for Mire, or just might come down to it's not in Mire, not in GT. That key could be. We do have some still options outside, but
I mean, there's always the possibility for stupidity when you're playing Key Sanity. I mean, there's always the chance that you're going to find something locked in the, I don't know, big key to Skullwoods or something dumb like that. And that could really help either of the runners.
The only thing Ramond have checked that Goomba haven't checked at this point is the Pyramid Fairy, so he has that one check up against Goomba at this point, but I think it's going to be in GT at this point, but the main question is it in the basement of GT, or is it before Moldor, or something like that?
I mean, that's the question. How much of a gambler are you willing to be? Because Ramond is on his way back up to GT. Like, to run all the way through GT is probably going to take him, I'd say, at least 2.5 minutes there. Goomba, in order to climb GT's... Oh, never mind.
Yeah, this is unfortunate that Ramond is doing. I understand why Ramond is doing it. Just skipping out Mire, it could be a big key in Mire, but this is the one check that he doesn't need to do it. This is one of those that he should have just banged on Turok at this point.
Yeah, this is this is pretty much like a Hail Mary play on his side. I think I feel behind. I'm gonna do something to try to get myself back into it. This is kind of a shame. And that's going to stretch Goomba's lead back out, because that is Goomba's 7th crystal here. And he is going to go on his way to GT. Now, we can't really play the GT big key guessing game right now, but I suppose we could play the Misery Mire big key guessing game in here. And
we got, what was it, 27 locations?
There are 27 locations, and if you want to go over 27, then that's basically saying that that it's not actually in GT, it's someplace else.
And I can only imagine, like, the only two locations outside GT at this point that I can even think of is Magic Bad and Hera Basement. I think we have seen it all at this point.
Well, there's also the Skullwoods Big Key. That's an option as well, if we're wanting to get really, really dumb.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised when it comes to Key Sandy.
So, I mean, yeah, hold on. We're still looking for this last key. I mean, this race is not over until that big key is pretty much found and the pig is slain. So we still got things to do. All right, Goomba is making his way over to GT right now. We're gonna see exactly, is the Misery Mire Big Key hiding inside today?
Let's see how Goomba decides to route this dungeon. It looks like we're going to Hope Room here, to the right side, so we're starting right side. Chest number 1 is 300 rupees. Chest number 2 is our last bottle, so that's a pretty convenient spot for our last bottle with blue potion as well.
Yeah, neither runner's gonna be too unhappy about finding the blue goo right there, that's for sure. Right before you're climbing what is supposed to be the most difficult dungeon in the game there, getting a full magic and heart refill is pretty nice.
Gotta say that I really like how this game is taunting our runners that they found the Mystery Mire map inside Mystery Mire, not the Mire thing they want to find in the dungeon.
Ramond is making his way up to GT here, but not to GT, but to Turtle Rock as we speak here. Unfortunately for him, it does look like Goomba is going to be able to clear out probably the entire basement before Ramond gets a chance to.
Goomba did actually not go to the pot there to pick up the small key, so that's one thing that he kind of forgot. Might not need it, so we will see, but
like, counting them in my head, I think if you've got all 4 big keys, you have enough already to do everything. I don't think there's any problem with Goomba locking himself out by any means.
Still no big key here, but there's our compass to Mystery Mire, so the game is just keep on taunting us at this point.
Now, I kind of...
There it is. The big key to Skullwoods.
Skullwoods.
I mean, this is interesting.
Yeah, that just opened up one more thing there. Yeah, we're going to have to wait for this. Now, I think that is the final of our big keys. Yeah, that is. So, if we do see another big key, that's going to tell us immediately that that is the Misery Mire big key, and he's gonna mirror and head directly up the tower here.
It's pretty funny that you said that we might find this Skullwoods big key, and it's the first one we found in here.
I mean, I've played this game a few times there. It's never the first key that you find. Now, if Ramond wants to really play complete madman game right now, he could decide that, you know what, I feel like I'm so behind. I've got 4 GT keys. I'm just going to shoot the tower immediately and go for the keys at the top of the tower, chest at the top of the tower, and hope that it's there.
That would be very brave to do that if you're Ramond. You're skipping so many checks. I don't see anybody doing that. I like it would be very brave, but also very, I don't know. It's one of those plays that would be super risky.
To me it's comparable to doing the kind of I want to say the famous example from last year's tournament. I believe it was like Willard who was playing Korek and just went for the oh, well, he must have found or not. Hard to say if he's found it or not yet. We'll have to look at his menu in a second. But I want to say Willard went for the tile room gamble against
I honestly think Goomba found the big key because he wouldn't be here otherwise this fast.
He found it? Okay, getting it from his teammates that Goomba did find the big key to Misery Mire. We're not 100% sure where. So, yeah, Goomba is 100% in go mode here. So, barring something crazy, this is probably going to be his race to lose at this point.
The only thing he needs to do when he's done with the climb here, taking that down Aga 2, is to bunk and mirror and go to Misery Mire, and that's just goes to Vitreous, and then it's saving point to go back to Ganon. So I kind of assume that we found the big key in Random Room for Goomba.
Yeah, Rando Room seems like it makes sense. Although it might have even been in. Yeah, Rando Room probably is the right case. Could have been on Bob's chest, but have to see exactly. It's kind of a shame. If Ramond had not gone into Misery Mire there, he could have really made this tight, I think.
Yeah, if Ramond just skipped out, he would have been just a few. I honestly think it would just be a few seconds behind Goomba, which Goomba would get a little bit of a bigger lead when with the cutscene with opening up Mire, but it would come down to execution at that part. But you never know with Rando. Everything can still happen here, but it's Goomba's to lose at this point.
I mean, at this point, nerves are a thing. Both of these runners are pretty much some of the highest level runners that we have in this community here. So, gonna have to see here. It looks like Ramond is gonna go for the tile room play here. I like the play from his side. Unfortunately, not gonna work in his favor, but I do like the play.
There's our small key Taravera.
I mean, we've checked everything else. It kind of had to be in here. Moldorm 2 goes down very quickly over on Goomba's side here. He's going to open up the last chest to find the small key to Hyrule Castle. That small key to Hyrule Castle did just put his first sword into logic.
The one sword we have had from the beginning is the one that's in logic now. That's just great.
Ooh, a nice triple there over to start off on Goomba's side there. Gets a double there.
Goomba's execution is just on a different level today, and his routing.
I mean, all Dungeons Key Sanity is a hard mode to go sub 2 in. It is very hard, and Goomba's gonna pretty easily go sub 2 on this. I'm thinking Goomba's gonna go easily under 155. I mean, he's done a fantastic match today.
His routing just paid off from the beginning, and the main difference here was unfortunately Ramond missing that hook shot. That's honestly the only thing. That's because Ramond found it so late. Just became a thing.
All right, well, and we're off to Misery Mire over on Goomba's side as Ramond is making his way slowly, getting very excited at seeing that big key before, of course, seeing that it's the Skull Woods. So he's got to go a little bit deeper into the dungeon. Yeah, part of the advantage of coming back through Misery Mire a second time is you don't have to hit any of the switches, so he could just walk immediately to the back here. Looks like he also had set up Spooky, so Goomba's going to have a very quick time. And over on Ramon's side, we probably get to see where this big key was. And sure enough, it was in Rando Room there.
Quick climb here for Ramond, and then it's off to Misery Mire as well, but Goomba is almost at victorious at this point, so...
And gets the Spooky action at a distance glitch there on his side here. Going to do it one more time. Hits the switch without actually hitting the switch there. Probably my favorite trick to do in the entire game.
Satisfying feeling, and don't blink because you're going to miss this vigorous fight.
All right, and there he goes. All right, Goomba, let's go check Magic Bat. Come on, buddy. All right, we're going to be done with this game in about, maybe I'd say a minute and a half over here on Goomba's side. Going to get probably a quick save and quit from the Mire area, and then immediately jump down to face the pig.
I mean, Goomba just going full pedestals. He gets another 10 arrows for his silver arrows here on the Ganon fight.
You never can be too safe.
We got Butter Sword, we got silver arrows. This should be a very fast Ganon fight.
Already on to phase 3 on Goomba's side there. Ganon is throwing a bit of a temper tantrum, gonna knock down some bricks here so we can get on to phase 4, where we can actually start to hit him with these silver arrows and get this over with as quickly as as possible.
Nice position there for a double. And another double here, I would assume. And there we go. Goomba takes down Ganon and makes this. We're going to have match 4 here between Team Awesome and the last locationers.
Yeah, that's going to be a very hype matchup as Goomba goes ahead and crosses the line here with an SRL time of 1 hour, 52 minutes, and 5 seconds. Get those GGs into chat there for Goomba. That's just a fantastic time on an all dungeons key sanity race there. And like you said, we're going to be looking forward to a game 4. That's going to be the last locationer's choice of seed and runner. So gonna have to ask them exactly what they're looking to do there.
It's going to be interesting to see who the runners will be for these two teams as well, because the last locationers and the Team Awesome got very good runners, so it's going to be interesting.
And it does look like over on Ramon's side there, that is going to be he has put in a forfeit for this race here. So get your GGs also into Ramon as well. And hopefully we'll be able to get these two runners into the booth here to have a little interview as well here. Just like we said, just an amazing race from both of these here. And both of these runners there, Goomba in particular, just great execution across the board with some really fantastic routing. Man, it is a fantastic race to watch here, and I see both of them in the waiting room right now, and I'm going to go ahead and see if we can't convince them to jump on in. And we are now joined in the booth today by both Goomba and Ramond here. GG's to you both. That was a lot of fun to watch.
GG's.
GG.
Hey, GG.
Well,
I'm gonna be honest, I felt really behind pretty much the entire seed.
not just you.
I was kind of surprised when I won, honestly. But
So, Goomba, why did you feel behind?
I feel like I just did everything in the wrong order. Like, my light world, I did Eastern, I climbed Hero without a weapon, I did all kinds of nonsense. And then Meyer was empty, TR was empty, and the pod big key was just in Eastern when I was waiting to go over there until I had the pod big key. It was a mess. I did not feel great.
Well, to be fair, honestly, the early game there was just, it was a mess for, it was kind of an unavoidable mess. Like,
Yeah.
so many of, like, you had the book, you had the big key to Hera, you had, I mean, if you had been able to, divine that you needed to do bomb escape, and that would have helped you a lot, but man, that would have been a really, really rough thing to have guessed at the beginning. So, I mean, honestly, go ahead.
The reason I didn't go to escape is because I was kind of expecting the cape to show up to give me access to the castle tower chests. Except they were also nothing, and instead I just had to come back with the second key because, of course.
I gotta say, the items placement in the early, like, you guys had to go everywhere at that point. It was just unavoidable for both of you. And for Ramond, it kind of hurt you the most about that hook shot on the Desert Torch.
Yeah, it was kind of a derp. I have no idea how that happened, because I think I was so excited that I had the Desert Big Key and I was expecting the boots in the chest, so I kind of completely forgot checking the torch somehow. It has never happened before, but stuff like that always happens at some point. And missing that hookshot basically spiraled into everything what I did afterwards, and it was basically wrong play after wrong play. Because if I had the hookshot earlier, I probably would have gone to Paradox before doing Aga, would have had the flippers, the Swamp Small, then I wouldn't have dipped Turtle Rock without the Fire Rod, which was in Swamp, and yeah, and all this stuff. It was just hilarious, actually. I thought the seed was just messing with me at that point, just because I skipped the torch.
I got to ask you a question there. There at the end of the game, you had a choice between going to Misery Mire or Turtle Rock, or going ahead and completing Turtle Rock and going into GT. Any reason why you chose Misery Mire there first?
Yeah, pretty obviously, because I thought Goomba is like a really strong player and he wouldn't have done like the same shit that I did. So I was definitely behind, or I felt definitely behind. So I thought, well, the logical thing would be to rush GT. If you know, Maya is the last pendant, and the big key is probably in GT. In any other seed, I would have done this play as well, but I felt so way behind in this seed that I just had to gamble on Maya itself.
Well, fair enough there. I mean, but like I said, guys, both of you honestly turned this into a very, very entertaining and honestly fairly close race there. Goomba you definitely did have the advantage for most of the seed. It seems like your routing gave you the items in a little bit more a more generous order than I would say Ramon's did. But I guess from your feeling, yeah, it didn't feel so good then, eh?
Yeah, I mean, like, in this mode, you usually end up basically full clearing the game, so it generally just comes down to the order in which you clear the game to ensure the highest efficiency, and I felt like I had done everything in a very wrong order, and obviously I'm not gonna sit here and assume my opponent didn't look at the Desert Palace torch, so I didn't feel too good.
Well, that is definitely fair. So, well, congratulations definitely to the last locationers and you, Goomba, there for pulling this into a game 4 here. Now, if I remember the rules correctly here, that is game 4 is your team's choice because I believe you guys are the lower seed.
That is correct, yes.
You want to give us any preview of who and who's going to be racing and what mode you're going to be choosing?
Honestly, we haven't really decided yet, and even if we had, I'm not sure I want to give the opposition any preliminary information, you know? I want to keep it a surprise.
All right, well, that's fair. I can't blame you on that here. On the other side there, Ramond, do you have any idea which one of your teammates is or yourself is going to be running in game 4?
I have no idea, actually. We don't really talk much, and we just basically make this very on short notice, every decision we make, basically. So, yeah, we haven't talked about it yet, but I guess we will soon.
Well, all right then. That sounds pretty good here. So we're gonna probably get that game scheduled here in the next. I'd say probably we've only got 2 days left in this week, so I assume we're gonna have it either today or tomorrow or the next day. So keep your eyes out on the schedule there for SpeedGaming or on the ALTTPR League website itself. There we can maybe find out exactly when the next match between Team Awesome and the last locationers are, because that is going to be a very hype match to see which team can move on to the Dark World Conference Finals here. Other than that, guys, I guess we'll just go ahead and kind of maybe wrap her up for the night there. Any final thoughts?
Nothing in particular. The seed was surprisingly fast, honestly. Like, getting sub 2s in these is kind of unusual. And I feel like the seed could have been a lot faster too if I just did things in a slightly different order, so. Yeah,
a lot of the progression on the way basically already pointed to the next part. So at the beginning there was like the hook shot, which then pointed to this mountain, which had the flippers and the swamp small. And if you did the loop over key 45 with the mirror, then you had the hammer, you would go into swamp, get the fire rod would point you to Skullwoods, you would get the mids there, and then basically you could already almost clear every dungeon. So it was actually a fast seed if one would play it like properly.
Yeah, like we had like every item super early. It was just a bunch of keys missing.
Well, you had all the items pretty early. I was struggling to find that fire up very down.
Well, all right then, guys. Thank you for the race. That was again really fun to watch on our side there. Like I said, keep an eye out on that schedule for game 4 as soon as it gets up there. We'll try to make sure that it gets restreamed on one of the channels here as well. Other than that, we're gonna probably just go ahead and shut this down for the night here, or for the night. Sorry, for the day. There's gonna be plenty more coming on SpeedGaming as the day goes on here. Looking ahead, over actually here on SpeedGaming, we're not going to have really anything going for a couple hours here, but starting over at got to make sure that I switch this back to the right time zone here so I get this right here. Over at 2 p.m. there, we're going to have the daily race of ALTTPR Rando over on SpeedGaming 3, and then there's a whole bunch of other things coming up there. We've got Untitled Goose Game, we've got Super Metroid, all sorts of different races coming out here in the future. So make sure to go ahead and give the Speed Gaming Networks of channels here a follow as well. Also, big shout outs to both of our runners, Goomba and Ramond. Give them a follow as well. If you enjoyed what you saw today, both of these runners are fantastic follows, and they are just great people as well. Very open to helping you if you're just learning and such like that. My name has been Dazed Cloud. Big shout outs to our tracker today, Star14681, for just helping out and getting all the buttons clicked behind the scenes. And big thank you to my co-commentator Alex, Nielsen Alex 92. And I'm going to give you the last word because I feel like I've been talking a bunch all of a sudden.
Well, Days, I like when you're talking a lot of bunch, so keep on doing that. And Days, thank you so much for doing the commentary with me. I know I was a little bit late, but it doesn't matter. We did great, I feel like. And shout outs to our runners, amazing runners. Follow them. Shout outs to the tracker. And we'll see each other later for more rando, I guess. Have a good day.